I'm Rex Johnson.
I'm Kody Titus.
And we're going to show you how to build a bike. Alright.
Get into your scene.
A normal set of forks. These are what you'll find on most bikes. It's a gooseneck set. You can tell by the grooves on the outside. Most bikes usually won't have these. It goes inside of it. It tightens down and this pinches against the walls. It can get stuck. That's the reason most bikers don't like them. So they'll usually switch them out. Third part, you want to make sure everything is greased up, nice and thick, so that you don't even got to worry about it again. And then this one here, how you see the inner ring on it, that means that it'll go down here on the bottom half, just like that. Don't ever put your bearings in backwards, and I'll show you why not. Yeah, this is what happens if you put your bearings in backwards. See, the back walls just grind away, and it takes and tears the bottom out. Same thing will happen if you take and don't put any grease in there. Just probably not as dramatically. This happened in about a week or less. All slides together here, and the upper bearings, you want to make sure that the balls themselves are facing downwards too. This is what's called a rest. This is what you'll put your bearings up against. This is usually what will be screwed into it, and this will take and go down with your forks. This goes down on top of them. If you gotta take and get this down, and once we have that down where it needs to be, we'll take and all of these spacers and stuff, I'll show you in what order to put them on, but these take and go on there just so that this top bolt, when it gets screwed down, will take and pinch, and it will prevent the rest from coming up. And one thing though is you don't want to use a seal ring like I got, but I don't have enough spacers, so I have to. No, you don't have it too tight. You should be able to just spin it and it just sit there and move freely. The more it rotates, the easier it is.
So there's no top grinding up by here, so we'll wear that down to where it lasts longer.
Here, we'll take and go down we'll go down first into the grooves. Different types of bikes. There's a one piece, which is a solid bar that everything just slides over this one side. Is a two piece where one arm is loose to make it easier to tighten down this, and then your other arm is actually tightened down. Is actually part of it. And then you've got the and then you got a three piece, which is what I got, where you got axle, arms, and everything is all separate. Right, so yeah, you'll get pretty greasy when you're doing this because you got to make sure that everything is greased up nice and thick. You want to take and fill the insides here, especially if you ride like I do. You'll wear through that grease crazy fast. And just make sure they're soaked in grease. You go ahead and you sit them in here where these sit outwards, because in your crank, the axle here is actually backwards. The grooves are backwards here. Go ahead. So you want to take and just keep that in mind so that you don't take and try to screw it on the wrong way and get mad at arms to do this. Now you can use just about any wrench. I use a pipe wrench because it's hard to find one that's big enough to do that, and it just grabs on really well. You just want to take and put this on here and then start tightening it down so that the sprocket here takes and it has to go on to here like this and this. But you have to put a bolt in here to keep this tied to that. Here. The easiest way to do this is just to put on both arms and watch it though, because you might have one come off now. Twist it, and then just let your bearings do the work and spin it. Helps to spin it the right way, and just spin it, and you'll take and spin the bolt right into here, and then just pull it down so that it's nice and tight. And then with a three piece, you got a bolt right here and a two piece both. Where's the other one?
In my hand, yeah.
And then you take and you just tighten this down here, just to make sure that doesn't move or slip at all, and you're good to go. Alright, you're gonna go ahead and do the other side. This bolt here, and these are the correct direction. So often the hardest part about pedals is starting them. Sometimes they won't want to start, and some pedal, there's really no particular side that they're supposed to go on, but like you can put them on either side, but if it says left, it'll just fit on the left side easier. Okay, so with chains, can you grab my chain breaker over there? Yeah. Chains, the way they have to go on, this one bar here, it'll take and it'll go, just pretty much just throw it over the bar. This will be usually how you'll put on and take off most chains. This is like $5 at Walmart. You just take and sit it on here and spin it through, and it'll punch that pin out, and then you just gotta put it back in. Don't punch it clean out, because you might have to end up replacing that link if you can't get the pin to go back in. And then pretty much the easiest way to do this is put your seat on before you do it. Just go ahead, you can have someone else help you. If you're doing it by yourself, just grab the tire, pull back, and tighten it down. Don't push too hard. I can't have my chain too tight.
I'm not pushing it down. So, some bikes have this spacer right here, so it won't wear down that part right there, so it won't bust up your tire. It won't bust up this either, your forks. So basically,
some bikes don't.
Yeah, some bikes do, some bikes don't. Mine didn't.
The spacers go on the inside of the forks here. The washers or wait a second. No, these ones go on the inside. Most of them will go on the inside. These ones actually go on the outside. They're made to work with the bolts. The spacers just take and keep from tearing up the plate, the fork, the bolts and forks and everything tightens down up against. So sometimes your bolt here won't stay still, so you have to put a wrench on the inside and hold that bolt.
There's two little grooves you can put it in, and it just pops right in. You set that right there, and
start tightening. And you're doing it, you want to make sure, even with a flat tire, it might still have some air in it. You just want to make sure it's all out. The less air in it, the easier this will be to do. And we're just going to change the tire here. So this is a tire bar. This makes it really easy, but you can even use a screwdriver for this. Just never use it to put your tire back on, because you can cut the tube and then you got to do it all over again. And pull back on that bead, and just run it along.
it just basically pops it out of the rim or hub, whatever you prefer.
And then you can just pull the stem out, pull the tire back out. I'm not changing this one right now, so, and then just put it back in here.
You just feed the tube back in. And
yeah, when you're taking out a flat tube, you really ain't gotta be too delicate with it. When you're putting one in, you want to make sure that it's all straight. Don't let any twists in it, and just never use a screwdriver to put it back in, ever. Like you don't
want to slice the tube open.
No,
and especially a brand new one that costs upwards of $20 if you're willing to spend that much, which I did.
Yeah. All right, and when you're putting it on, you can just kind of push most of the bead back on. And then when it starts to get tight, if you've got a tire bar, it helps. You can just take and put it in here and pull this back. If you don't, you can just take and fight it and pull back, and usually the bead will stretch and just slip right back on. It's just a little bit harder without a bar.
Okay. Pop in, pop out process.
Yeah, literally.